Hi, I'm going to talk about what happened to the pharmaceutical sales rep. You've always seen PSRs or drug reps. They are frequent traffic to my office, sometimes several a day, usually many a week. Um, it's been a constant in my 35 plus years of practice, but it's changed, and it's changed over the last 10 years. It's especially changed in the last 3 years. Historically, in the United States, there's 100 to 125,000 pharmaceutical sales reps working for different companies, PSRs. The quest here, of course, is to make you knowledgeable about their drug, making it available to you, growing the sales of that drug. They do that in many ways. One, by visiting you, leaving you with information, giving you information that you request, by giving you samples, by advertising, by direct to consumer advertising on television. But the rep is there to be a constant and to establish a relationship with you, the prescriber. And ultimately, the goal, if they have a good enough drug, is to make that into a blockbuster drug, a drug that sells $1 billion worth of medicine in 1 year. And there's a bunch of them. Amazingly, most of them seem to be on TV these days because they're getting away from doing it the hard way on the ground in the office and doing it the easier way through multimedia, digital outlets, and television. The rules of detailing have changed quite a bit in the last 10 and 20 years. They can no longer give you things of any value. They can still engage you over lunch they provide or breakfast they provide. Not sure I agree with that policy in my clinic. It's no gifts, no food, no kidding. I don't need a caterer. I might need some information from you, the sales rep. But the fact is that the accessibility of doctors has gone down quite a bit. In 2008, it was estimated that 80% of all clinicians were essentially rep accessible, meaning that 80% of doctors would see their sales reps. That has continually and slowly eroded, and it's now about 40% or less. I don't have an accurate number since the COVID pandemic. Many of you just don't have the time. You're no-see docs. You don't have time. Time is the burnout in your life and whatnot. I did a survey of online of 134 doctors online. Said since COVID has ended, a bunch of people yelled at me, "COVID hasn't ended. What are you talking about?" Meaning in the last year or so. How often do you see your PSR? 1/3 said when they come by. 40% said never or rarely, meaning no, I don't. And 20% said if I can, when I can. So there's been a shift in your attitude. There's been a shift in the numbers. Many companies have done away with their face-to-face marketing and their pharmaceutical sales reps. But we as doctors have contributed to that. I don't want my sales reps to lose their jobs or to be replaced by bots and AI and chat GPT. I think there's a value to that relationship. And I think that, the question is what's going to happen? What can I do? What can they do? PSRs are your direct face-to-face immediate link to a company. Now you can call a company, you got 800 numbers, you got websites, but you can get information from a rep just as easily as anybody else. And that is what I have used my reps for mostly over time. Yes, they are trained to influence your prescribing behavior. And yes, they are about relationships, and recognize that high prescribers have strong relationships, and therein lies an ethical quandary that we as doctors have to deal with. But nonetheless, the data is pretty clear. Drug detailing used to account for a gigantic amount of overall sales of a drug. I've heard 25%, it could be more. When you do surveys of doctors, different specialties and whatnot, it's different in primary care and specialty care. It doesn't matter. Numbers are really shocking. 71, 50% say that PSRs are their most valued source of information, that they support the development or actual key opinion leaders, that they help inform you about education. They're really good at informing me about what's going on in my community. They give drug samples, although less of it. And then again, they can complete drug queries. The bottom line is that they've gone away because there's limited access to doctors, period. And that's either willful or unwillful. There's new technology that will replace them. And lastly, there are post-pandemic protocols and habits that haven't yet broken. So it's a whole new world out there. I think in the future, PSRs need to be multimodal and digital. Face-to-face is good, but they need to have other relationships that are supportive and digital. That means helping you, the doctor, to become digitally engaged, either on Twitter or LinkedIn, or as a digital online leader and teacher. There's many things that they have at their disposal: advertisements, publications, information on meetings, websites, teaching websites, etc., that can better make you a digitally engaged physician. And I think that that's really where they need to go, investing in sales reps who will be digitally oriented and help you to become digital learners. That's where the relationship is. That's my 2 cents.